Okay, I've topped the Webley lightweight up to just over 200 bar. What I'm going to do is put a 24 shot string through the chronograph, and based on that I'll put that in the chair gun, and we'll see what velocity we're getting to start off with. Then I'll do some shooting tests with it and see if we can zero it in using the chair gun information. So there we go, shot number one. I'm using 14.3 grains Webley Acupels in this. I believe that's 8 shots. Oh no, that's 7. Should have been counting better, shouldn't I? I'll just lid that up again. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I've had the telescopic sight taken off it and put it on a different rifle. Now it's come back on, I need to make sure I can go back to 0. And I think most of the shots will be running a few feet per second if I let the regulator have enough time to rebreathe itself, because most of them are around this sort of velocity. Okay, here we go again. Okay, we'll call that a day. I'll test the results over the chronograph, and I'll do a shot out to probably around 18 yards, and then see where it comes back in. Hopefully it'll be around 30 yards, but we'll see. Okay, so we're back in the house now. As you can see on the chart, I imported all the information, and the chronograph came back with an average of 589.32 feet per second, or 11.11 foot-pounds, with a high of 596 feet per second, which gave it 11.9 foot-pounds. I think that should be 09 foot-pounds, to be honest. And the 581 feet per second came back with 10.72 foot-pound. So based on the average, which is 11.11 foot-pounds, I put the information onto Chairgun, which is this part here. Using the reticles, I chose a generic mill dot because I'm using a BSA scope, and that is pretty close to what it looks like on there. All the inputs I put on the acupels in the actual projectile list in Chairgun. It's not accurate at all. So the weight of the Webley acupels is 14.3 grains, and that gives a coefficiency of 0.0260 of coefficiency. Now the average one's changing on this one to 58932. So we'll just change this. 589.32. Let's see if this is alright. The range is correct at 30 because that's what I had zeroed in before. The average energy was 11.11 foot-pounds, which I've got there. Magnification on the scope is 10 times. So based on that, I then put went to the, was it toolbox or configuration? I think it was the toolbox, but I bought this one up, the reticle, and based on all the information input at 30 yards, that means close up on the same point of aim. It's also then zeroed in for 10.3 yards. 1 mil, almost 1 mil dot of hold under brought it to 18 yards. And then if you look down here, if you go below 10.3 yards, you then have to use elevation, because as the scope is above the barrel, closer up the barrel is actually going to shoot lower than what the scope height is, so you need to bring the elevation up so it's on line. So 1 mil dot of hold over at 8 yards coming down to 4.6 yards, you're right at the bottom of the cross here on top of the sight post. And then moving out 38 yards should be 1 mil dot, 44 yards 2 mil dots, 3 mil dots at 51 yards, 56 yards 4 mil dots, and 62 yards should be resting on top of the post. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out in the back garden using the rangefinder that I've got. I'm going to get a range of 10.3 yards and more or less zero it in at 10.3 yards, knowing that it should then be on aim when I'm out to 30 yards and all the rest of them. So no matter what range you zero it in at using these figures, it should be the same for all the different equations, if you know what I mean. So that's the theory anyway. So the next part of the test is to do the zero on the backyard. I'm not going to be out there too long. I'm just going to find a zero range that relates to one of those figures at that range, and then in theory it should work for all the ranges. And then when I get down to the actual range at Tinsley Park, we can shoot it at the 30 yards and see if it's on zero. So that's what you can do with Chairgun if you've got the information it requires. It didn't quite work the other day on the Chinese scope that I got on, because the reticle couldn't have been accurate to the original Hawke scope, so it came up with different figures. So I just had to make a range card based on what results I was getting on the range. So there we go. So the next part of the test is to do the shooting. So I'll see you in a bit. So I've got the target set up at around 10.3 yards. We'll see if we come anywhere near it. Try to find it. Okay, we'll parallax the scope in. So that's high. So the way I'm going to do this, keep my point of aim, adjust the reticle down until it meets the point of impact of the last shot. So it will do. There we go. Let's try it again. So he's coming down. It's going over to the right as well. Okay. Left a few clicks. Let's take what the ammo status is like. I see. Let's come up a bit. I'm going to aim for the circle on the top right now. So I'm going to go left a bit, up a bit. So again, top right. Now back for the ball. That's it. I think it's zeroed at that. Okay, here's the results from the 10-yard group. As you can see, the initial shot, when I fired it, was quite high at the 11 position. I started using the adjuster on the elevation, brought it down probably about an inch on the second shot, and then using the elevation adjuster on the turret, I kept my point of aim there and adjusted down until the actual reticle met up with the hole that I'd fired. And I took the next bunch of shots, and the initial 5-shot group went in there. I reloaded it, I think I fired another couple of shots, and then I went up to there on the second group, and then finally the last few shots I fired again and it more or less went in there. I consider that zeroed. I know the windage needs adjusting, but we never know what the wind's going to be when we get to the range, so as long as the elevation's in the right area, which is that's about a 1/4 inch, that whole circle there, so I'm not bothered about that. The other pieces on the paper, they're tears where the lead's come through after it's gone through the target, hit the bricks, and it broke the actual card on the way out. It's done it there, and it's done it just up here. These marks down here are from one of these carpet rails that I tried to stick into it to hold it upright. But that is the results for the 10 yards. So the next test will be at the range, and we'll be firing at 30 yards, and we'll see how close we can be to it. Pretty good software if it works out okay. I've used a general purpose reticle on it, milled out reticle, which should work with most scopes, so you don't have to have an Hawke scope with it, but it will put you in the right ballpark. It's not forced to be spot on, but it should do the job. So there we go. So I'll see you again at the range.